What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about 5 ways that you can make money online. I've ranked these into 5 levels. They start at beginner, which are things that are really easy and that anyone can start straight away, and go up in complexity, and with that, earning capacity. My goal for this video is to show you how you can immediately start earning money online, and if you're already doing it, how you can increase your earning capacity without increasing your workload. So without further ado, let's get into it. This is level 1. This is the most basic level. The goal at this point is to generate income online reliably without having to spend loads of time trading or learning a new skill. At this level, the simplest thing to do is utilize online marketplaces like Fiverr and Upwork to use basic skills that you already have to generate some immediate income. These marketplaces aren't just for designers or developers. The goal at this stage is to use something that you already know how to do to generate some immediate income. To be clear, this isn't me suggesting to go and spend ages learning a new skill, but to utilize something you already know how to do. If you speak very clearly, you can do voiceover, and if you're already good at social media, you can do that too. The goal here is to use something you already know how to do to create some immediate income. Now I'm going to be honest, you're probably not going to get rich doing this level. But what it will do, it'll give you some immediate income which you'll probably need to train and practice to move up the levels. It'll also give you important soft skills like client management, time management, and sales, which are going to help you at every level. So learn these now while you're not worried too much about the skill itself. Once you've done this for a while, you'll be really good at managing clients, meeting deliverables, and working to deadlines. As I said, these are super important skills for you to be able to nail next levels. I'd recommend using this time and the money that you generate from this level to learn a more specialized skill. The more specialized the skill you learn, the more you're going to be able to charge at the next level. As I said, this isn't the most complicated level, but if you feel like you're lacking in skills or experience, it's a really good place to start. It's something that you can do with literally just a laptop and an internet connection, and from there, you can build up your skills and your experience. And that brings us on to level 2. At level 2, we're going to be using a similar approach, but using a more specialized skill to generate more income. This can be anything from illustration, video editing, design, coding. It's important to do something that you're actually passionate about, rather than just what you think is going to earn you the most money. Your passion will help take you through that initial learning phase and will result in much better work, which results in happier clients, more repeat work, and ultimately more money. If you don't know what skill to learn, I'd recommend trying out a few things early on. There's loads of great free resources on YouTube, and online courses are often very cheap, particularly on things like Udemy where they often have sales. So I'd recommend trying out a few different things, seeing what you like, and then doubling down on learning it. As soon as you feel like you've learned enough that you can offer these services, I'd again go down the same approach, use things like Fiverr, Upwork, as they give you a platform to provide basic freelancing. This means that you don't need to worry about some of the more complicated areas of freelancing, as you can focus just on honing your skill. It's really important at the early stages, as this needs to be where you're really focusing just on the actual value you can provide, and not on the more complicated areas around running a business. I'd recommend doing this for a while. During this time, you're going to be getting better at your craft, and therefore developing a long-term skill that you're always going to have. Doesn't matter what happens in the world or in the marketplace, people are always going to need these core services. So essentially you're being paid to then earn more money in the future. It's kind of a no-brainer. Once you've gotten really good at this, you can then go and find other clients elsewhere, or you can do contracting work. This is where you work for a company for a fixed day rate for a longer period, rather than just on a job-by-job basis. This can be good for earning slightly larger amounts of money, particularly once you're more specialized in a skill. It's really popular for things like film and video and coding as well. Now you can actually stay at this level for quite a long time, and lots of people never look to go beyond that, and that's totally fine. You can make a really good income just at this level, and I wouldn't suggest rushing past this until you genuinely feel like you're an expert. Now, as you get better and better, you can increase your rates, which will therefore increase your earning capacity, but at some point you're going to hit the limit that all freelancers and contractors do, which is that you're limited by the amount of money you can make, by the amount of time you have. Yes, you can increase your rate, and that will ultimately generate some more money in the short term, but you're never going to escape the problem of time equals money. You have no concept of passive income at this level, and therefore you are fundamentally limited on the amount of money you can make and the flexibility you have. At this point, some people will start hiring and they will create an agency. I would strongly recommend against this. I have lots of opinions on why agencies aren't a good way of generating money, but that's for another video. And that brings us to level 3. Level 3 is all about multiplying the amount of money you can make by leveraging the skills you've already got to teach people online. This actually means that you can make way more money than at level 2 without spending any more time. You're already using a skill you already know, but sharing that information with others at scale. You can utilize things like video calls and private chats and even a Discord server to provide real high value training to a small group of people. There's lots of ways of doing this. And to be honest, the only limiting factor on how much money you can make is limited by your ability to find clients. It all depends on what the skill is as to what the best route for marketing it effectively is. And if you don't have an existing network or an online presence, you may be limited in how much you can utilize this level. Now, unfortunately, if you do struggle to find buyers at this level, you may just need to skip on to level 4, and that's okay. However, what I say is that any experience you can get at this level is going to be really valuable, as it's a skill in itself being able to communicate and teach people beyond just utilizing a skill you already have. And that brings us on to level 4. This is when things start getting really interesting. The goal here is to build an audience and a community around the skill you have. This means creating content for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all around your area of expertise. By making this content, you're actually going to build an audience which is going to market for the skills that you've already made at levels 2 and 3. I'm not going to lie, this is probably going to take a while, and it's what I'm doing right now. But the goal here is to build an audience, as it's probably the most valuable asset that anyone can have. There's loads of money to be made at this level, because you're not only creating new income streams, you're supporting your others as well. And once you've got skills and an audience, you can move on to level 5. And level 5 is, in my opinion, the fastest and most effective way of making money in 2023. The goal here is to utilize the skills and expertise you have, combined with your audience, to teach people at scale. And what do I mean by teaching at scale? This means taking everything that you would normally do in a one-to-one training session and putting it online in the form of a course or some other form of educational content. It really doesn't matter what your skill is, there is a way to monetize it. If you're an illustrator, you can teach people to draw. If you can code, you can teach people to code. If you can speak multiple languages, you can teach people to learn either language. It doesn't actually matter what the skill is, there's pretty much always a way of teaching at scale. There's loads of resources and businesses that help you to do this, so I'm not going to go too much into the details of it now, as we'll save that for another video. But essentially, this is when all of your skills come together and you're able to generate far, far more income than you would be able to from group training or freelancing or consulting. There's loads of things that you can create and sell online once you have an audience and a skill. For example, if you're into video editing, you can provide educational content so they can become a better editor, or you can provide After Effects or Premiere Pro assets so they can copy some of the content that you're known for. You've essentially managed to take a skill that you're using to just service one person or one client, then scale it to teaching a group of people, and then scaling to teach en masse. And that is when your earning capacity skyrockets. And those are the 5 levels. Hopefully, regardless of what level you're at, this showed that there is a way of making money online or increasing the amount of money you're already making. If you found this video useful and want to see more, I'll be uploading regularly, so please consider subscribing. And equally, if you agree or disagree with any of these points, I'd love to discuss it in the comments below. Cheers.